Hello, everyone. I have been using this app for things other than course material. But I've seen recently that Zoom recordings are not easy to upload. And at the same time, I think most of the things we talk about don't need a face to them. And it's good to have these audio messages recorded and then sent to you directly, or even if we upload it on uh, YouTube, it's easier to send you the link and you can just listen to it wherever you are, easier. So I think that's the better one. I'll try to upload the videos recordings that we have on Zoom, but it's always the internet issue at the department, and when I come back from office, then it's too late. So this is the one way of doing it really quickly and reaching it, making it reach you quickly. Also, it doesn't need much effort. Uh, since I am not going to edit much of it, so I am not in need of uh, much skill for this. Like the only thing I would like to make sure is that the audio is good, that you can hear what I am saying, and most of the time we'll be talking about material that I have already shared, so you can get a context for it. Uh, the thing that I would like to talk about today is an article that I have shared with you, a recent one from Wusatullah Khan, who wrote an article in BBC Urdu. And I thought it would be worth discussing because he talks about some very important aspects in our uh, political and social life in Pakistan. Uh, the main theme that I would like to focus on is social media and its positive role in supporting democracy, uh, also making a more transparent society possible, spreading awareness, and also breaking taboos and controls vanish, and most of these things. What Vusat Saab says is very important to understand. His first point is that in our 73 plus years of history, Pakistan has been able to have a continuous political government for 13 years. And these are two complete terms of two governments. Uh, he's taking out General Musharraf's so-called civilian rule. Like 2008, President Asif Ali Zardari, 2013, Prime Minister Nawaz Sharif, and now the present Prime Minister Imran Khan. This is something very novel to Pakistan. Uh, the first 11 year, 1947 to 58, uh, Pakistan did have a civilian government, but it was just changing hands, like too many people coming in and going out as heads of the states, the state. And then came the martial law in 1958, and General Ayub Khan took power. He became president later, and it was still 1971 where General Yahya Khan took over, and then Pakistan lost one of its parts, which is now Bangladesh. Then came Prime Minister Bhutto, and he was uh, dethroned through a military coup by General Ziaul Haq in 1977. I remember those days. And then General Zia was there till 1988. And then there were two terms each for Benazir Bhutto and Nawaz Sharif from 1988 to 1999, and another 11 years. But these were never continuous, like no 5 years term, like two years or something like that, and in the end, another military coup. Then General Musharraf took over, and he was also the president of Pakistan, but his political party was naturally the force behind him was the military. But this is the first time in the history of Pakistan when we have continuous political transitions, governments completing their terms, like 2 terms, and this is the third one. I'm pretty sure this government will also complete its term. Like the point here is that Pakistan is in a steady process of democratic change, which is very important for democracy. Uh, but here is another thing which is more important for us. What's our role in it? The power of the social media is being criticized. I am also one of the critics. But at the same time, it has made impossible for governments to commit atrocities, for mobs to hide behind any pretexts. Like what happened yesterday, we have seen police being beaten up, which is a sorry sight, and also the mobs beating up police and also damaging private and public property. But imagine uh, being no social media. The easiest way to stop them was just to beat up a couple of cameramen of or reporters of mainstream media, and you would easily have a complete blackout. If you were the government, you could have beaten up people like anything. Uh, like you might be knowing about the Model Town incident, a case that is still in the courts, where the then sitting government is being accused of directly, shooting at the people directly, uh, and we don't have much evidence. Like we do have, but I don't have to do anything to do with the right or wrong of it. But that can't happen right now. Like if anything like that happens, there'll be some video giving all the evidence to everybody. The same is true that if any mob attacks anybody, and it has happened a lot of time, a lot in Pakistan, and the only thing they had to do was to just stop the mainstream media from covering them, and they could have committed a lot of atrocities without anybody knowing what they did. Like people know it from newspapers, from news, word of mouth, but no concrete evidence. Like a lot has happened in Karachi, for example. A lot has happened. Even media organizations were targeted, and media organizations were shot, offices were shot at, but there was no proof because they were afraid nobody else was there to cover. So the power of social media adds to a more transparent society. That's my point. And it's not easy to commit any harm or any atrocities in the presence of social media, because even if there is nobody around, there is a fear in the mind that somebody is watching. Like the big brother concept of government being the all powerful decider of what to show or what not is no more that much important. Like anybody with a phone can do that. And they can just upload it to the social media, and then it goes viral. Everybody has it through WhatsApp groups, through Twitters, and everything. And then the mainstream media has the opportunity to report it because it's already there. Even if somebody is forcing them not to report it, they report it because it's already there. So holding the mainstream media back or controlling it won't do much. So this will also liberate in the long run the mainstream media. By the way, we do have a new information minister in place, who's the Minister of Science and Technology, who was previously also the information minister. So we have changes of portfolios also in Pakistan. And this is just a passing remark. But here is the point. that through social media we can strengthen democracy, we can ensure transparency, we can ensure social justice and humanity. Now, but here is the another aspect to it, like you have more power, so at the same time you have more responsibility. You have to take care of certain things. My advice would be for any citizen or any student or any young or old is to go through these 30 points in the UN Declaration for Human Rights. It's just 2 pages, and whenever you publish on social media, because keep in mind that you are a publisher, you are as responsible or as irresponsible as any newspaper, television, or radio editor or CEO, because you have the power to publish views that others could see, discuss, distort, abuse, whatever. And when you see that you are going to talk about something which is important, we do it all the time because we have an opinion and we have an instrument to give our opinion. So this is how to do it. Just keep in mind that there are 30 points which are being promoted for the very reason that these are important for us to live on this planet as human beings. And keep in mind that you don't diverge from these. Like you respect these 30 points when you publish. I don't mean that you cease to have any fun. Like you do your chats, you go through your gossip, you enjoy your time on social media, perfectly fine. But whenever you talk about important issues that are socially important, you should be knowing that you are, or culturally important, politically important, you should be knowing that you are contributing to a larger social discourse, which will decide the everyday discourse. An everyday discourse means things that we talk about every day and our perspectives towards them. So whenever you publish on social media, talk, write, post a picture, give a comment, keep in mind that you are not hurting anybody's feeling, you are not trampling on anybody's right to exist, you are in fact supporting humanity, democracy, transparency, justice, equality. You are fighting discrimination. You are being human. You are being self-critical also at times. And you are fair in your social media content and also honest. Because the world that we are living in has taken the power from the strong and given it to the weak. And that's what empowerment is. So we have this chance to make this place a better place to live. Like you can begin with yourself, as they say, improvement begins with an I, and then groups are formed and a discourse comes out, and that discourse becomes national and global. And we have the opportunity to initiate a global positive discourse or to get into something which will create something bad for people around the globe. I'm sure that we would all like to be on the right side of history. And history, by the way, is very fast right now. It just happens every day because of the global connections that we have. So that's the point that I wanted to emphasize in our today's interaction, based upon the article that I have shared with you, that no matter how weak a democracy is, it has more chances to support humanity. And we are fortunate to have a continuity. At the same time, we have the power of social media, which will lighten the burden of the mainstream media, because on social media, responsible social media behaviors and responsible social media work will help us strengthen democracy in the country, which will in turn support us to live a better life. Thank you.